Welcome to my off-grid adventures. I'm Frank and it's another beautiful day here in Michigan. It's a little bit warmer than it was yesterday, thankfully, so I'm able to be outside a little bit longer without having to retreat. Today I just want to take you on a bit of a tour of our property to show you the damage that was recently done by a massive winter storm that dropped about 20 inches of snow and had high winds. There's more damage to this property than I've seen in decades. As you might have heard in previous videos, I've only owned this land for just over a year, closing in on 2 years now. But we had been given permission to use this land for hunting and a few other purposes over the last, I don't know exactly how long, but close to 20 years or something like that. But in all that time, I've never seen this much damage from a winter storm or any windstorm or anything. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it's one of the main reasons that I purchased our new tractor. This is just one of the areas here that used to be one of our top 5 favorite trees on our property. We had a couple of swings that hung from one of the lower branches, and this is a place we still hope to develop as a little playground area for our grandsons and our grandpuppy. And I think we can still salvage it, but this is going to be quite a bit of work, cutting that down, taking it somewhere, burning it, or keeping some of it for firewood. But it's just a little bit sad to see that, but it also shows that the tree was weak, and sometimes a storm does what nature needs to do, so I shouldn't be too upset about it. I would like to ask for advice from any of you that have done storm damage repair like this, specifically with tractors and grapples and buckets and stump buckets, these things that I purchased recently and showed you in my last video. Just for any tips on the safest and fastest and best ways to clear this kind of damage, and not just what you see here, but the other types of damage that I'm going to show you in just a moment, because this is just fallen limbs, but I have a lot of fallen trees too. So if you have any advice, please leave it in the comments. I genuinely would appreciate some tips. I want to do this safely. I'm not so concerned about doing it quickly. I want to do it safely, and would love some advice. If you know of a video that's been helpful or interesting about how to do that, please put a link in the description too, or in the comments, that is. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this little tour of our property. I'm also going to show you the edge of the property that we're about to purchase this week, an additional 20 acres of woods. So you'll get the first glance at that property, and I think you'll see why we fell in love with it and are very grateful to be able to add it to our 40 acres, making it 60 here. All right, now let's get going and I'll show you the rest of the damage that the winter storm did to our property.
All right, this tree it seemed like it was fairly healthy, but it fell from the wind and the weight of that 20 inches of snow that we had, and it's the first tree that blocks our main trail that we call B Trail here. We have a name for all of our trails that hopefully makes a little sense to us, and this is called B Trail because when we first started using this property, this was full of bees on either side of the trail. It made it a bit dangerous if you're allergic to bees. So that's why we named it that. You can see we've got a little bit of damage here. That a couple of big limbs broke. You see this tree broke up at the top. So I'm gonna have to clear that. Oh, look at this sad little guy. Maybe he can rebound? Maybe? If you have any idea how to help this guy straighten back up, let me know. And then just all kinds of fallen trees here. In a moment I'll show you the very end of the path that goes over by the river, and at that side you can't even tell where the trail starts from that angle.
And before we go any further to look at all the winter damage, I just wanted to show you this sneak peek to what's coming this week. I didn't mean to make a rhyme there, but I guess I did. Between these orange marking stake things for marking your driveway for snowplows, this is where I'm going to have crushed concrete brought in and leveled, and then there's going to be an Amish barn that gets delivered and installed right there. I custom ordered one just for my needs to be able to house the tractor and implements and a few other things that need to be kept out of the weather. So that's where that's going to go. And if you'd like to see that all happen, please subscribe and follow along this week. A lot going on this week. By the way, this is one of the Amish buildings that we purchased, and we're getting the barn from the same builder. However, the barn is going to have metal siding, metal roofs, and it'll have one large 8-foot wide door and then a 7-foot roll-up door on the side and a few windows. So it's going to have 10-foot sidewalls. It's going to be really nice and spacious for all that we need it to be. I just have to give another shout out to Courtney from GoodWorksTractors.com, a great YouTuber that taught me a lot of things about tractors before I bought anything. He mentioned the advantages of having a cab just for creature comfort, but I am so thankful that I went with a cab. I wasn't going to initially, and this cab is just so comfortable. It is not that comfortable outside, and it is just so cozy in here. I don't even need a jacket on. And I hope it'll be the same this summer with the air conditioning, but what a great luxury to be able to have. I was going to buy a tractor with a backhoe and a loader and bucket that was open cab or whatever that's called, and I'm just really glad, open station I think it is, and I'm really glad to have this though. It was definitely worth it. I'm going to get a lot more work done because I can do it in any weather. First time I used it actually was a time that I was clearing up that 20 inches off of the trail, and it was raining and cold, and I would have never done as much work as I did that day if I had to be out in the elements. So thanks Courtney, appreciate that, and so many other tips. This field that you see behind me is about 6 or 7 acres, and we are going to do some farming on it this year for the first time. It's been farmed for almost its entire history until we purchased it and decided we were going to do something with it ourselves. It had always been leased to a local farmer. But we're going to at least take an acre of it and plant a number of things like winter rye, which was such a fantastic deer bait or food plot. And then we're going to also plant corn and pumpkins and a number of other things that we want for our family and friends. So if you want to watch that as we try our first hand at farming, we've had gardens before but never anything at this scale, please subscribe and follow along. Alright, this is the other end of Beat Trail, and as you can see, it's tough to even make out anywhere that could have been a 2-track in the past. So much has fallen here, and they don't even look like these trees were dead, so I'm not sure what exactly took them, the wind, the weight of the snow, both. But this is a little bit sad to me because I liked this end of the trail and how it looked and how it sheltered the deer and gave them a sense of safety at this point of the property. And it's going to be a lot of work to clear all this. This might be the hardest section, but I haven't seen all the damage yet. It might be even more serious. There's another view of the entrance to Beat Trail. We're about to hit the intersection of 2 trails here, Shadow Trail and River Trail, and it's looking like this is going to be a lot of work with some bigger trees that have fallen. Path, completely making it inaccessible right now. One of my favorite paths for walking and riding. Oh no, it is so much worse than I thought. This used to be the most clear and easy trail to walk and travel on. Now look at it. I don't know how far those fallen trees go, but these aren't going to be easy to remove, and I need to know the safest way to do it. So again, I'll do some research, but if you have any tips or links to videos where they demonstrate how to remove trees like this that are broken off up in the air. My idea here is to just trim a little bit, enough to get the grapple somewhere in the center to stabilize it, and then start cutting. But this is a lot of work. I'll enjoy it, I think, but I think it's going to get old before I'm done. All of this damage is actually older, but there's a lot of fallen trees, large ones here, that I definitely like to clear out. It seems like it has to change the traveling behavior of the deer because it's hard for them to get through. If we don't like to go through it, deer don't like to get through it either. So I'd like to figure out how to get rid of all this and also turn that into some firewood with my Ryobi log splitter that I have. I have a video about that, and I'll demonstrate it more when I get this wood ready to chop up. Alright, let's head back to the edge of our property where we're about to expand it into 20 more acres. All right, we're now at the back corner of our current 40-acre property. And I'm going to show you what the new acreage is that we're purchasing this week. Hopefully close this week on it. It seems like we will. So this is the line that goes back and it covers all of this woods here. And this is the other corner. This is what we already own. I don't think you can tell from here, but there are a lot of birch trees on the new 20 acres. And we have very few birch on our 40, so it's nice to have a variety. It's interesting, isn't it, how much variety there can be in nature within the same 2-mile radius. There are some parts of our area that I wouldn't really want to purchase. There's a lot of swamp, there's a lot of really thick woods that are inaccessible, really, and not all that useful for the kind of things we like to do, hiking and riding and all that stuff. Also, by the way, with this new 20 acres, we'll have a lot more of the river. We have some river access now, which is great, and we use it and love it, but this is going to make that a lot more. I don't know the exact amount of river frontage that is on this new parcel, but it's massive compared to what we have now. So we'll be able to do a lot with kayaking and just exploring that river. We love that. It's a good sized river, good for fishing for trout too. Thank you for joining me on this trip today. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the property that you may not have seen before. Again, if you have any tips about how to take care of all this fallen limbs and trees and to do that safely, please leave that in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help my channel. And if you'd like to see how we develop this land, how we use our new implements, and how we expand our property into this additional 20 acres, please subscribe. Love to have you come along. Thanks for watching.